Otherwise, everyone can complain. I can complain about Kibra, I can complain about Kawangware, and then what are we selling despair to those people or hope? So, Mr. Speaker, let us not dwell on that. Senator Malala has given a very good illustration of his points on BBI. Let's accept reality. We cannot change the history, but we have an opportunity in this house as senators and as leaders to then design the future, Mr. Speaker. That's why we're here.
Order, senators. Order. What you are raising are not points of order. These are just points of argument and positions you are taking. So I direct that Senator Malala concludes his debate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In my valedictory remarks, Mr. Speaker, I want to hope that this document is going to sort out the mess that we've had in the public service, Mr. Speaker. And facts are facts, Senator Wamatangi. You'll ask yourself today evening, who is the head of the executive? Who is the head of the Parliamentary Service Commission? Who is the head of judiciary? Who is the chairman of KRA? Who is the Director General of KRA? Who is the governor of CBK? Who is the KDF Chief General Staff? Who is the Attorney General? Where does he come from? Who is the Solicitor General? Who is the head of Public Service? Who is the CS Public Service? Who is the chairperson, Public Service Commission? And who is the ambassador of US? We cannot lie to ourselves, Senator Wamatangi. Answer yourselves those questions and you'll come to a reality that we have marginalization in this country. Mr. Speaker, in this country we've been having recruitment for army officers across the country, across all districts. But since independence, we've not had our Nyonyi heading the army. We've not had our Fula heading the army. We've not had an IG called Walubengo. Mr. Speaker, is it that certain people from certain communities qualify more than others, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, as I finish, Mr. Speaker, and I would like to request, Mr. Speaker, that you give me... Come on, Senator.
Order, senators. Let him conclude so that we are able to move. This argument, order, senators. I will give you an opportunity to bring statements so that you argue. Okay, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, you know, I thought it is you, Mr. Speaker, you've just given a ruling a few minutes ago on the way to proceed. But Mr. Speaker, I'm unsettled when again you allow the senator for Kakamega on the same trajectory, and you alluded very well to what Senator Sakaja said. Now he starts naming names and saying we've never had. Why isn't he saying why do we have a Lusaka as the Speaker of the Senate? Why? I mean, why isn't he saying that, Mr. Speaker? You know, and if he wants to send us on the same journey, my friend, we can go and get a list of every person from the people you are naming who has served and who is serving in the positions in Kenya. That narrative is a lost narrative. That's a narrative to divide the country, and that cannot be allowed in the modern day Senate, Mr. Speaker. We are doing the wrong thing. He cannot be allowed to continue to tell this country that we are divided along divisive lines of tribalism, Mr. Speaker, in modern day Kenya.
Order,
and then he gets away in the Senate. We cannot.
Okay, you have made your point of order. What's your point of order, Senator Cherargei?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I wouldn't want to go to that trajectory. Is it in order for Senator Cleophas Wahungu Malala to mislead Kenyans that under Article 11A, the issue of marginalization and underdevelopment in some regions of this country has been addressed by this constitutional amendment? Is it in order to mislead Kenyans? Because there is nowhere under shared prosperity that has even remotely addressed the issues of marginalization. And is it in order under Constitution 2010, Mr. Speaker, the current constitution we have, it has tried to address issues of marginalization? Is it in order to mislead Kenyans that under the BBI or this constitutional Article 11A of BBI on economic and shared prosperity, there is nowhere? Is it in order for him to mislead Kenyans? And Mr. Speaker, finally, I agree with Senator Wetangula because we sat in the same committee where 3.6 billion cherry fund was given to one region. Nandi never received even a single cent from the World Bank. So some of the facts, Mr. Speaker, I want to advise my colleagues are very stubborn. You can't change.
Senator Malala, conclude.
I'm finishing. Mr. Speaker, I want to assure you that I'm finishing. But I've come to realize that facts disturb even the dead. Mr. Speaker, we need to ask ourselves, why are we in this situation, Mr. Speaker? And I think the BBI is giving a solution to this. Mr. Speaker, the BBI has provided for a position, a substantive position for the leader of opposition. It is very important, Mr. Speaker, for this country to have opposition, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we speak right now, the problems we are suffering is because we do not have an opposition in this country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when I was in Standard 6, Mr. Speaker, in my civics lessons, Mr. Speaker, I learned that Parliament is made up of the Speaker, the government side, and the opposition side. Mr. Speaker, when I was admitted in this Senate, Mr. Speaker, I have seen the opposite. It has made me, Mr. Speaker, think that my geography teacher...
Okay, you only have 1 minute.
Me.
I know you interrupted 1 minute. Conclude.
I'm finishing. I'm
1
finishing,
minute.
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we do not have an opposition that checks the government here, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a case in this example is this House, Mr. Speaker, where the leader of majority and the leader of minority walk majestically in the corridors of this parliament as co-joined twins, Mr. Speaker. Nobody is checking each other, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is important that as we pass BBI, we provide a slot for the opposition, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to finish by saying that we do support the BBI process. Personally, I will vote yes. I want to preempt that, because this is a document that is going to unite Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. I will join and follow suit the direction being given by my leader, Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, and Honorable Moses Masika Wetangula. If they say left, I will go left. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. Order, senators.